And we're back. SUPERCHULLIN, Kuf Yud Beis, number 12. B'siyat Dishmaya, Nischus of the captives, Nischus of the soldiers, Nischus of the yeshiva, Nischus of the family, Nischus of my Zaidi, his brother is having a Levi right now. So in the Nischus of Shlomo ben Bracha. My uncle, my Zaidi, was David ben Bracha. So now, welcome Shlomo ben Bracha to Yeshiva School Shol Shamayla. And we hope that Uncle Sheldon is up there. He's proud of me and Zaidi. And all of Yeshiva School Shol Shamayla, Itchy Meyer, Corbenet. Schlig's dad, Harry's dad. We are at a new Mish Hudes, and we have many Doros, Tzaddikim and Talmidei Chachamim that are with us in Yeshiva School Shol Shamayla, in Yeshiva School Shol Shamata, and everything at the right time. The Eibishter should give us siyata d'shmaya to arrive in a time soon that they say of it, ki bala hamaves l'netzach, that there's no more death. You should see Gula Shleim up here, B'yameinu. But we know that when the guf experiences death, when it transcends to the next realm of existence, and the neshama goes, we can't comprehend what that is when we're in the guf at the moment. We can't understand what that could be, the next level of existence, the next stage. We can't, it's like trying to understand what is an angel. It's like intellect without any physical representation. So then where is it? What is it? How could that be? Right? Our human mind can't recognize, can't comprehend. So that's a reference to these ideas. Like this was beyond the either or that we had in Gan Eden. So the Cherev Pipios. Okay. Numesh Hudes, Chulin, Lamed Beis, Amud Beis. Welcome. A new Mishnah. Hashoche Beis Roshin Ke'echad. Right, we're saying it's a new Mishnah, but really this is our third time seeing this Mishnah in the Yeshiva School Show, in the Shiurim, and but it's a new Mishnah. Now we get to start it. We saw it referenced. We got to see it. Now you get to see it with Rashi. Really get to stag it. Hashoche Beis Roshin Ke'echad. You shech two heads as one. Shritaso Keshera. If you shecht two heads as one, the shechita is kosher. So when we saw this yesterday, we went through it. We didn't get a chance to see Rashi, so now we will see it with Rashi. We know that the Mahalach is first see the Mishnah, then you see Rashi. We saw the Mishnah already, just PSA. So Zakt Rashi Hashochet Beis Roshin Ge'echad, the Shechita is Kashera, and Zakt Rashi nothing. Because it's Pasha, it's obvious. You're shechting two heads as one, the Shechita is kosher. Shnayim Eichsim Besachin, Veshochtim, Afilu Echad L'mayla Ve'echad L'mata, Shechita so Kashera. Two people are holding one knife and they shecht, even if one is above and one is below, the shchita is kasher. Now you see, it says shchitaso, but there's a nikuda there, and the nikuda says shchita. People did a shchita. So it says Rashi, Shnayin oichzim besachim v'shchas. They're shechting one animal. Shchitaso kasher. Okay, I hear that, Rashi. You might think that it's also talking about the Beis Roshin, the two heads, ka'achas, and so we say, Rashi explains that it's talking about two people holding a knife, and they shecht, even one up and one down, the shechita is kosher. Hatiz as harosh bevas achas, if he chops off the head in one fell swoop, ke'adam hamatiz kana odelaas, dorek hasachin bekoach veposech vehi drasa. So this is what drasa is. Remember, we keep on speaking about lopping. And so hitis esa rosh bevas achas. So if you were shechting and you did drasa, you did the lop, the east side lopper over here. Hitis esa rosh bevas achas. Im yesh besachin malei tzavar keshera. If there is in the knife malei tzavar, it's kosher. What's pshat malei tzavar? What does it mean to have malei tzavar in the knife? The full neck, you know? So if you have so maybe they're saying like this. I want to say they're saying like this. This is error. More than one ingestion using primary URL. Send one stream. Bleep blurb. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It says it's still live. Don't worry about the error. Error. So what does it mean, malei tzavar? The full of the neck. So what I'm thinking is possibly, maybe what do you think it means?
Oh, I thought like malei, like
like full of the neck. So what does that mean if the full neck is in the knife?
Like, yeah, like the entire neck is like in the blade of the knife.
What does that mean?
Like,
so okay,
fully the circumference of it or not.
So I think so. Imagine that this is the knife. It has a really thick, long blade, and so if you like the choppers, and so if that blade is the length of the knife, then if you do lopping, it's kosher. If the blade,
the length of the neck,
if the length of the neck, yeah, then it's then it's
lopping is kosher.
then the chora it's okay to lop in that case because you're keep on going with the motion, the shechita motion. Let's see Rashi. So but is kana odelaas. It's like he lops. right? He pushes the neck with strength. Like someone cutting a reed or a pumpkin. And when we see the word reed, we say the pasuk of Kaneh Ratz Lo Yishaber. That's the positive pasuk. Okay. So if there's the Malay Tzavar Echad, if it's one neck's worth, and one of these things talking about Bisman Sheholich Velo Hevi, O Shehevi Velo Holich, in the time that he goes and doesn't bring, or he brings and doesn't goes, right? The motion. Aval im holich behavi, but if he does both, afilu kol shehu, afilu b'izemel kasher, if you only do a little bit, even with the izemel, it's kosher. So what's an izemel? You know, anyone? Izemel is, I think, the knife they use for bris milah. So vehet is esarosh. So hayashochet. He was shechting b'meshicha. B'meshicha, with pulling. Vehetis es harosh. Behava rishona, with the first, right? Because it's havava holacha. He goes the first way. Achelo hisbik leholich. He couldn't even have time to go back to do the other direction. O holich techila b'meshicha hutaz harosh achelo hisbik lehevi. O holich techila b'meshicha hutaz harosh achelo hisbik lehevi. He didn't have enough time to go back, right? It's a one-wayer. Im yesh b'sachi malei tzavar. So this is a case like he was shechting, and so hayashochi v'hitis as harosh b'vas achas. Im yesh b'sachi malei tzavar kasher, says Rashi. Im yesh b'sachi malei tzavar chutz litzavar, meaning outside of the neck. Kidemuki b'gemara, like we will explain in the Gemara. Yesh kan holacha o hova. You have going and coming. The kosher sheyesh bo kidei, the kosher, it's kosher. Sheyesh bo kidei lishcho b'meshicha below drasa. So here, it's a way that you can shecht with the pulling, the give it go, this way and that way, back and forth, jack of work. So if it's a big enough knife, and we have to see exactly, the Gemara is going to explain exactly what this means, but if the knife is big enough to be malei tzavar, the entirety of the neck, so we have to see what's the pshat. But then it's possible to shecht with meshicha, with the pulling and going like this, without drasa, without lopping. Aval im ein orech hasachin ela ka'oveh hatzavar. But if the length of the knife, Rashi's throwing in information here. If the length of the knife if the length of the knife ochutz litzavar im ein orech hasachin is not, if the length of the knife, so it's not talking maybe about the thickness of the knife, like some thick butcher's knife, like we were saying, like I was thinking before we saw Rashi, but it's the length of the knife. It's just that the knife has to be long, the length of the neck. So we have to see why. If it's only if the length of the knife is equal to the thickness of the neck, O chutz litzavar mashahu, or it's outside of the neck a little bit. Drasahi, then it becomes drasa. She'enav simanim nichtachin b'mashicha zo levada ella b'drasa. So if the knife is a small knife, there's no way to cut the entire head off with one movement. But if it's a long knife, and then you can go, you can see it, right? Richard Jem tomorrow we'll be able to go over this with Zidar Zalman, and he can explain to us. We talk about knives, and because we were talking about Hova and Holacha. This is a Zalman. So this is the Zalman likes to analyze. So when we do this Chazar tomorrow, B'siyata Dishmaya, Zalman could share us some of his wisdom about cutting, and we could see if what we're saying now makes sense. But think about it. If you have a really long knife, going from one extreme to the other. So if you have a really long knife and the neck, and it's so long as the neck, so like it starts cutting. Look, it starts cutting, and it starts going in, and it continues cutting, and you can really lop the whole thing off with one movement. Right? Lo alai, Hashem should save me and protect me in my neck, and my head. Please, Hashem, please protect me. Look how much I love Hashem. This is my mysterious nefesh because I need to teach Torah. So I need to show, because this really makes sense. It keeps on cutting, and you can cut it off with one motion. It's a long neck, but it's a long knife. But if the knife is just the size of the neck, like you can't cut it with one. And then so if you cut it with one, it means that you just chopped it and lopped it, did an improper technique. Shalom Groom. Im yesh b'sachin malei tzavar echad. So if there's one neck's worth, chutz l'shnei tzavarim. Right? Wait a second. So if it's malei tzavar, it's kosher. Next case in the Mishnah, Hayesh shochet, he was shechting. V'heti is beis roshem b'vas achaz, and he chopped two heads off in one slice. Im yesh b'sachin malei tzavar echad. If there's one neck's worth, it's kosher. Malei tzavar echad. If there is in the knife a full one neck's worth, it's kosher. Wait. In which cases, it's kosher in the time when you only did one. You only did one motion. Rashi says over here again that we will explain in the Gemara. Chutz l'shnei hatzavarim, yesh bo shiur shloshet tzavarim. The Gemara explains, what does that mean? Malei echad, it means in a neck that has three. This is what they're going to explain in the Gemara, that in a knife that has three necks worth, and so it only even has to be two necks worth. Chutz l'shnei tzavarim. If there's a sachin malei tzavar echad in the Gemara, they explain that it means outside of the two necks. So three neck worth, And so it not that it has to have exact. If it's a knife, the length of two animal necks, so that would not be big enough to cut two necks. You have to have malay tzavar echad in addition to the neck's worth of the first and the second animal, and then a whole third neck's worth extra to be able to do it in one fell swoop if you went one way or two ways and you chopped off the head. So that's only if you did holaka velohevi. You did one way, not the other. You did this or that. Holaka velohova. So in that case, you have to have the little bit left over. Remember when you only do one. Im holich vehevi. If he did do both ways, right? So like as Alman said, it's possible it's kosher to only do it one way, but then you have to make sure you have the right size knife, and you have to right. But it is kosher to do it that way. But if you do it both ways, afilu kol shehu, even if it's just a little bit, afilu be'izamel, even if it's with a small bris milah knife, it's kosher. Kasher izamel. So here izamel they say is razor. Dak v'katan me'od. It's a very small razor. And so even if you do that, you can use the avagav the it migzar atu yeshlo karnayim kedolkaman. And the chiddush here, Rashi says, is that even though you can make a gezerah because of maybe there are like horns, karnayim kedolkaman. We see no, you can even do it with an izamel. And so this Mishnah that we learned today in Eloi Nishmas, Mishnah is Osios Neshama. It's the words, the letters in Mishnah, acronym, rearrange them, and they're Neshama. So we learned this Mishnah for the Eloi Neshama of my Uncle Sheldon. He should be a Melitz Yosher. He should be very proud of his family, his grandson, my cousin, Ruvain, second cousin, but we're close like first cousins. And he just wrote a book. So it's a big schos for the neshama of David ben Bracha, his brother, Shlomo ben Bracha. Now, my grandfather and Uncle Sheldon, they used to argue. They used to have a outstanding disagreement. What was the name of their father, who was Papi Mori, Alav Shalom, who's also in Yeshiva School of Shul, also learning with us. And so my grandfather said his name was David ben Moshe Eliyahu. And my Uncle Sheldon said his name was Shlomo ben Eliyahu Moshe. And so now the three of them are together in Yeshiva School HaShaul with the Tzorba Derabanan, another cousin of mine, Ruvain Alav Shalom, who passed away, and we know that he's up there with Zadie and with Uncle Sheldon, with Grandma Birdie, and with all of our ancestors who are with us. We know the fight. They say, right? That's what they say. So what does it mean? Ein lo menucha. What is not enough in this world? They go to the next world and they're not getting menucha. What's the answer? It means that he's steiging. He's doing something. He's growing. A lot of people, they think that when you're in the world to come, it's just going to be sitting on a cloud with a harp, some mixture of Christian and Islam. Absolute nonsense. But we know the Gemara in Brachos says that that's level that Talmidei Chachamim are Yoshim, are Yeshvim and learning Torah, and then in Ziva Shechina getting and enjoying from the Ziva Shechina, but that's not necessarily Gan Eden, the next world. The Rakia, what do we call the Yeshiva Shalmaila? We call it a Sivta of the Rakia. And that's Gan Eden, and that's Olam HaYitzira, and that's the Pardes. And so if we're zoche that we continue steiging, we continue connecting with Yeshiva School Shal Shalmaila. Because what does it mean that there's no menucha, lo olam haba, for the Talmidei Chachamim? Is that there's still a fight, there's still something that's going on. Now we don't know if it's obviously not the same physical thing. We don't know if there's Yetzer Hara involved, but there is some avoda, and there is a milchema Hashem be'amalek, b'chol dor v'dor, and the name of Hashem in this world is just, we read it, right? We read it Avdal Nun Yud. We don't say it, right? We don't see Hashem Echad Shmo Echad. We know it, but we can't see it in this world. We're not capable. With that said, with that in mind, it makes sense to say that when someone leaves their guf, when the neshama leaves the guf, because we're neshamas. This guf we're just in now. I like to look at it like these are like the shoes. Like we're doing like one of the things that our souls can do, and we're in Olam Hazeh right now, and therefore, I like to think. I think it stims makes sense that after that transition, a person transitions to the next form of existence, the next realm as a neshama, and there's still avoda to be done. And Uncle Sheldon is still here with us. Talmidei Chachamim ein lehem menucha lo b'olam hazeh v'lo b'olam haba. And Uncle Sheldon was a real Talmid Chacham. I would always sit and talk entire with him. He would always say the Malim. He loved to learn Nach, and we love to discuss sugyas. And so we know that my great uncle Sheldon is with us right now, learning this Mishnah and steiging in Yeshiva School Shalmaila, Masifta Dirakia. That was the Mishnah. I wanted to focus today on the Mishnah because of its Osios Neshama. Maybe we could take a look at a Rambam in the Mishnah to see a little bit deeper in this Mishnah. Hashoche Beis Roshin Ke'echaz Shchitaso Keshera. Two heads as one. The Shchita is Keshera. Perek Beis Hilchos Shchita Halacha Tet. Let's go to the back.